It looks like I'm freaking 6 feet tall. I promise I'm not. Sup guys, I'm back. And I'm so sorry that I didn't upload on Saturday because I was really busy. And I just had a lot of stuff to do. So today's video is going to be most embarrassing stories that have happened to me, obviously. I got this idea, I guess you could say. I'm sure a lot of YouTubers have done it before. But I was scrolling through YouTube and in my recommended videos, I saw Motoki Maxted and he did a video about his most embarrassing stories. So I'm like, ooh, let me do that for today. And so here I am, and I'm going to tell you. So the first story that I have that happened to me was when, okay, I was a little girl, maybe 10, 12 or 13. And I had to really go to the restroom, but as you guys may know, I have a big family, so someone was in the restroom and I couldn't hold it anymore, so I went outside and I'm like, maybe if I sit down on this skateboard I'll be able to hold in my urine. But a couple minutes passed and that didn't work, so I ended up peeing on the skateboard in front of my brothers and sister, and it was really funny but mostly embarrassing. Okay, and so I don't even know what I did after that. Probably took a shower after that, most likely. And the second story I have is when I was in 5th grade, and throughout the day I was totally fine. Like, I don't remember being or feeling sick at all. But lunchtime came around and I didn't get lunch, but I was sitting down waiting for my friends to come to the table with their lunch, and the smell of everyone's lunch, because it was like a huge lunch area, but it was outside, so there was tables on tables on tables. Any kind of food made me nauseous, and I'm like, oh, I need to go to the restroom. So I tried running to the restroom, and I didn't make it to the bathroom. I ended up throwing up on the basketball courts. And I remember this guy, he was shooting some hoops, and then he sees me throw up, and I'm like, bleh. I'm like face down, throwing up, throw up all over my shoes. And he saw me, and he's all like, ugh, but he didn't say out loud, but I saw his facial expression. And so I went to the restroom, I guess, to clean myself up. Then I went to the nurse, and then I told her what happened, and then I got sent home. The third story that I have is, so I'm recently out of high school. It's gonna be a year in May. And when I was a senior, we had to do like this huge career project, I guess you could say it was. And the day came, and I am not a person who talks in front of people. Like, that's kind of the reason why I started YouTube, so I could not be as shy as I am. But yes, for this project I had to talk in front of people, and it had to be 10 to 12 minutes long that I had to present. And it was just so embarrassing because I went through every slideshow, but it wasn't enough. I was at like 9 minutes and 40 seconds or something. I'm like, nope, I gotta do this. I gotta make the time, because before that project I had another project and it was the same. It had to be 10 to 12 minutes and I didn't make it, and my English teacher was all like, if you don't make time, you're dropping 2 letter grades, which is bull. But this project, I made time, but it was just so awkward. I was like, oh, and here's this person from wherever. It had nothing to do with my career that I wanted. So it was really awkward. I probably stayed there for a good 2 minutes just talking about choir and this guy that was singing and his voice and how amazing he was, and it was just really awkward for me. And the fourth and final embarrassing moment of my life, it was when I was in 5th grade again, but not the time, not around the time that I threw up on the basketball court. I think it was probably after or before, I don't know. But I was in 5th grade, I remember that. And we had Red Ribbon Week. And you know how they make you write those essays about how you want one of your relatives or someone you know to stop smoking? Well, I wrote an essay about my uncle because he used to smoke. And I won, surprisingly. And it's just so embarrassing. I had to read my essay in front of the entire school. And like I said before, I don't do presentations. I can't talk in front of people. I get so nervous. And so the day came and they called up my name. And I just stood there. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I can't do this. And so when it was my turn to read, I was just looking at the audience, not even saying anything. I was just looking at the audience. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was probably shaking. And then I see to my right my elementary bully. She's pointing and laughing at me, and so that's what made me cry. But also the fact that I had to read in front of everyone. So I see my bully, she's laughing at me, and so I start crying hysterically. And then I told the principal, because the principal was right next to me, I'm like, I can do this, I can't read it. Sorry, I just got a text. And so the principal takes matters into her own hands and she reads my essay in front of everyone. And I just remember going back to class. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. This is so embarrassing. And yes, those aren't even all the embarrassing stories that have happened in my life. But if I made a video about that, it'd probably be 20 minutes to 50 minutes long. I have had a lot of embarrassing stuff happen to me. But yeah, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you, you guys.